Class, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have spent some significant time learning about ancient Rome and ancient Greece. We learned about city-states and the fall of empires and the establishment of empires. We've learned about philosophy and its beginnings with Plato and Socrates, Aristotle. We learned about democracy and how it began in ancient Greece and how it was shaped and formed and evolved. And now, thousands of years later, we still use it today in the United States of America. And we even took time to learn about gladiators and the fights that they would have in the arenas. Now, we're going to have a little fun and we're going to dive a little deeper into ancient Greece and Greek mythology. Does anybody know who Hercules is? Yes, there are a couple movies made about Hercules, but who is he? Can anybody tell me? Yeah, he was kind of a god. He was more of a demigod, which is yes, that is correct. A demigod is more or less half god, or they're a human being who did such great things with their life that they were raised to divinity and they became gods. So, can anybody tell me who Zeus is? The god of gods? Yeah, that's close. He is the god of gods for the Greek pantheon. He's the king of kings for the Greek gods and goddesses. Um, now, how do you guys know about these gods? Where'd you hear about them? How'd you learn about them? You've learned some in school about them. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of different books. That's right. So there are movies and books, and there are movies about them as well. And they do even show up in some video games. That's right, Chris. Very good, class. So, can anybody tell me exactly what a god is? Well, okay, yeah, an all-powerful being. I guess that's a good answer. Um, so, if a god is this all-powerful being, an immortal who can't really, who will live forever, what is a demigod? Or I guess we could break that down. What does demi mean? What does that represent? Correct, a portion of. So a demigod would be someone who is part god. That's right. Good job. Very, very good. Now, let's say our Greek pantheon did, in fact, they existed. People believed in them. They had they had special buildings put up for them, sanctuaries where people could go and worship and make their tributes for the god or goddess for the upcoming harvest or for a healthy pregnancy with their loved one to be able to have a baby together. Gods were worshipped for all sorts of things, and people would go to these special sanctuaries and they would go so far as to sacrifice goats, or they would sacrifice part of a year's harvest, or they would leave gold and jewels. There were even people who sacrificed their own children because of how deeply they believed in their god or goddess. Crazy, right? So, to introduce some of the Greek pantheon, I have a couple videos here. The first one is a little goofy, but I think you guys might get a kick out of it. And then I'll have one more after this. So let's go ahead and watch our Greek god rap. That class was our Greek god rap. That was pretty goofy, huh? So I thought that might be a nice way to go ahead and dive into what we are learning today and tomorrow. But I have another video right here. This one has just a little bit more information about the different Greek gods and goddesses. It'll give you a little more insight about what we are going to be working on today and what we are going to be presenting tomorrow with our Pantheon walk. All right, guys, we got one more video here. And here we go. All right, guys. So looks like we have hopefully learned just a little bit more about some of the major gods and goddesses here. And I don't know if you noticed, but each god and goddess represents something different. And each god and goddess is also represented by different things, like Aphrodite and the apple, or Zeus and the lightning bolt. So I have written up on the whiteboard a lot of the different Greek gods and goddesses, and one at a time, I would like each of you to come up to the front of the class, select which god or goddess you are going to do your research project over for our Pantheon walk, and then I have a stack of books over there right next to where the tablets are. And I would like each of you to maybe grab a book or two, pick up a tablet if you need, and go ahead and start working on what you are going to put in your speech for our Pantheon walk. And your speech needs to include, excuse me, some information about you, who you are, god or goddess, what you represent, what you do, what you expect of your followers, excuse me. Ooh, sorry, class. And you're going to need to work on that and then finish up anything you might need to at home tonight, as well as prepare your costume and any props you need for your god or goddess. And then come to class tomorrow ready to give your presentation. At this point, allow the students to go ahead and study up some, do their research. They will arrive tomorrow. Each student will have the opportunity to, or each student will be expected to, move to the front of the class. They will share their presentation, the information they learned, and then explain what their costume is and why they dressed the way they did. And then they will return to their seats. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job, class. I am very proud of all of you. We have learned a lot about the Greek gods and goddesses. And to cap off our lesson with the Greek mythology, I am going to teach you guys the Greek alphabet. I'm going to go real quick and then we'll go slow with it afterward. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, psi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi,